What is going on, guys? Brandon here, Friday, April 21st, 2023. What a week. Finally have our desktop back. We're getting back in the swing of things. I'm super pumped because we're going to have playing around with some names of the channel, and yeah, I've got a lot of cool things we're going to be doing here going forward. I've already recorded a number of interviews, a lot that are on deck. Been waiting though, and been kind of held up for the last few weeks actually, just because of life events going on, computer issues, and all kinds of different stuff going on. So anyway, we're going to have some really cool stuff going forward. We're going to continue doing daily videos and talking about the markets, talking about what's happening in our market update video here, the trifecta and the big three liquidity indicators, seeing what's actually happening, the dog that wags the tail. While Jim Cramer is constantly wrong with everything he's doing and looking at equity markets, we are going to be looking at the credit markets where there things actually happen, the biggest market in the world, and everything is derived from those credit markets and the dollar. That's why we look at those things, and then oil. And then the big three liquidity indicators, gold, silver, and Bitcoin, are there to show us, hey, what's going on in the world? How fast are things collapsing, and what's the liquidity being pumped into the system as those things inflate in dollar terms and go to the moon, as they will. Guaranteed. Central banks are guaranteed to print currency. So that is what's going on here. Again, playing around some names. Share this out, though. Share the signal within the noise. Share it out, because the algorithm hates truth. That is truer by the day. We're playing with some other platforms we're going to be on. We'll tell you about that going forward. And I'm just super excited. I'm super excited for this. Non-playable characters are one of the names we were thinking of. And then when we interview people that are playable characters, that may be what we use as the name. So look for that, because that probably will be the name we kind of use for the show, at least, and stuff like that. So just looking forward to a lot of stuff that we have coming forward, because the future we have is very bright if we're paying attention. If you're a playable character, if you are plugged in, actually actively looking, becoming resilient, becoming independent, it's the best time in the world right now. It's going to be some crazy stuff going on, but for those that are prepared, it's going to be the best of times. From great chaos and disorder comes a higher degree of order, as Bob Proctor said. So it's only for those that are prepared and actually getting down into the weeds and actually going. As John F. Kennedy said, the price for freedom is high. And just like the show for years has been called the Freedom Isn't Free show, the prices for freedom is high, but Americans have always been willing to pay it. And unfortunately, it's not as true today, but I know deep down that is true for 100 million people in this country plus. And there's many deep down inside most people, and really most people around the world. And that's why this is so important. And that's why we're going to be on this crusade going forward of spreading truth, spreading reality, spreading our truth, and questioning everything, even the existence of God himself, questioning everything, questioning the narrative, the mainstream narrative. And I just look forward to that. And I look forward to expanding to other platforms, because this is my life's work, really, at the end of the day. And we have a lot of work to do, and making sure we get to all people, all playable characters out there. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun, challenging, taxing, but very fun nonetheless. And when you're having fun, man, the sky's the limit. So let's jump right into this. The bond market's still really hovering around 3.5. 5 hasn't moved much over the last few days or last week or so here. So this is, again, just kind of telling people are just sitting idle. People are really just kind of sitting idle, seeing, hey, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? We got a lot of conflicting stories. We got the Fed saying, hey, we're going to raise rates. We've got liquidity being pushed into the system. We've got, all kinds of different just, firing squads shooting at each other here. The dollar is sub 102, 107. But again, look at these big arcs, though, or these big patterns, though. We have a big downtrend in the weakening of the dollar last 6-7 months. So those are the trends we have to watch. And that's where we're showing, again, why gold, silver, Bitcoin have been pumping, because liquidity has been being sprayed in the system, the dollar's weakening, and you have, again, countries around the world, people being able to pay their debts off a little bit easier. So when this spikes, like when it got up to 110, 114, 120, people have a real hard time. People start defaulting. We're going to see that again. We probably will see that again, though. So just we're gonna watch out. We're going to track this, and we're going to see what happens here going forward, because it's going to be very interesting. Crude oil up to $78 a barrel, so just a tick up today. But again, this big downtrend the last year in crude oil going down, because again, people pricing in recession. Really, at the end of the day, you have OPEC cutting production, stuff like that. But then, the bricks, the dollar, wobbling. So people just not knowing what's going to happen. We're kind of in this weird, like calm before the storm almost. But you see this big downtrend for the last year. That's really the market telling you, hey, they think there's going to be some problems going ahead. We think there's going to be people locked down, not spending as much because consumer demand is down and the economy is just kind of grinding to a halt. Meaning they're going to have to lower the rates, and bonds are going to take off again, lower the rates, and the currency printers are going to go burr and go crazy again. That's really kind of what's happening, and that's where like the yield curve, you look at the yield curve in general, that's what it's telling us as well. The longer end of the yield curve, I mean, look at this. That the 30-year is 3.7. It's way lower, right? It should be higher, but it's not. The yield curve is still inverted. So you should get more cash back for lending your money longer, but you don't. It's because the market is saying, hey, we think the rates are going to be a lot lower in the future because we're going to run into problems. So the Fed's going to have to double back and pivot. So very interesting times, very interesting times. Leave your comments and thoughts here as well as to what you see, what's going on in your life. What are you seeing with prices? What are you seeing with just consumer sentiment? What are you seeing in your town? When you go to eat, are there tons of people there? What does commerce look like where you are? I'm very curious, and put where you are in the world, or like your city or your state, and then just say like, hey, what's going on? I would love to know that. And we'll start sharing more of that going forward too. Gold and silver. Gold took a hit. Silver took a hit today. $1,980 for gold, and silver back down to around $25 an ounce. So again, still bump, really up in general though. Obviously, gold. We'll check gold out here. Over the last year, we can see this huge. What the bottoms last year down to about 1,600, 1,650, about 1,600, I guess. So we've seen a huge trend up. Obviously, like we said, opposite of the dollar weakening, we see gold going up, which is what you would expect to happen. And I would imagine, right? Look at silver, it's gonna be the same thing. Yes, same exact thing. Look at Bitcoin. What's happened here as well? Last year, and then here you go. Sorry, last 6 months. Here you go. You have this trend upward. Same thing. So liquidity indicators doing their job, sounding the alarm bells, if you will. So we will keep tracking this every single day and making sure we understand what's going on. I'm going to see if we can get the mempool up and make sure we see if Bitcoin's running, because we know the banks aren't running properly. We know the currency issuance. We have no idea what the monetary law of the day is, rule of the day is. So we have no idea. We have no idea if banks are going to be there tomorrow. We have no idea if FDIC is going to bail us out. We have no idea. No clue. And this is the world we just continue to play on and think it's okay. But we know Bitcoin's running. We know the predictable issuance of the currency. We know the money. We know the predictability. We know it's running 99.9% uptime over the last 14 years of its existence. 11 straight years of complete uptime, because the network gets stronger and harder every day. 350 exahash every second securing the network. And that just continues growing. Continues to grow. So time chain calendar, check out some of these incredible resources for you to check out, to see. You can actually audit the system. What better way than to actually go and look at the system for yourself? You can't do that with the Fed. You can't do that with regular banks. You can't do it with a credit union. You can't do that with Zelle. You can't do that with Venmo. You can't do that with anyone. But you can do it with Bitcoin. The beauty of Bitcoin. So go to Bitcoin21.com as well. This is a phenomenal site that you can go check out everything. You can go check out everything. Median new house. What does a median new house cost you in Bitcoin terms? What's going on here, guys? Let's see here. Oh, wow. Priced in Bitcoin, it's getting cheaper and cheaper. So you've been holding Bitcoin the last 14 years. This will continue on going forward, guys. So the further you look into the past, the farther you can see in the future, as Winston Churchill said. So we know here that the trend is down. So if you hold Bitcoin, you will be able to buy more house in the future. But let's see. Brandon, what's going on with fiat though? Oh, interesting. It's exactly opposite. Over the last 13 years or 12 years or whatever it is, 2012, it's gone up. So you need to find more dollars because they're inflating them away. It's a debt instrument. They keep inflating them. So the value of your dollars goes less and less and less. You need to find more of those dollars then to buy the same exact median price house. But if you're holding a Bitcoin, again, if you're holding the strongest, hardest money to ever exist, and a finite money, a deflationary money, you just hold it, you get wealthier over time, and you have to find less Bitcoin to buy that same median house. You are welcome. That's it, guys. Hope you had a great week. Please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. Please question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. This is not financial advice. It's freedom advice. Don't be a non-playable character. Be a playable character, meaning get in the game, get in the fight, and start becoming independent. Start becoming resilient. Get a little bit of Bitcoin. Get some gold and silver. Get some food storage, energy, water, land, security, lead, firearms, ammo, and build community. Build community. That's the biggest thing in what we are moving into going forward. We have to begin to secure ourselves properly for what is coming forward, because from great chaos will come greater opportunity. From great disorder comes a higher degree of order. So I appreciate you. Please, please share this out, though. This is the only way we can ensure, besides getting ourselves right, but the only way we can make sure that we have a less of a rough time is if we educate as many people as possible and if we get the signal out. So whoever is spreading signal, please share that. Please share that, because I would love to learn from new people. I've added hundreds and hundreds. I've probably added 300 or 400 people just since the lockdowns in 2020. So many people have come online. It's forced so many people online creating YouTube channels and creating content that I've literally added hundreds. I thought I listened to a lot of people for 10 years. I probably listened to a dozen people or two dozen people. Now I listen to 300 to 500 people. That's how many people. And trying to triangulate positions to get the real answers I'm looking for, that make the most sense, right? We all have our biases. So what fits my narrative? What fits, and expand my narrative, expand my context. That's what we're trying to do. That's what the internet gives you this ability, whether it's through AI now and different platforms, where you can go and you can expand your narrative and your context, and you can triangulate the correct answers. So I appreciate you. Hope you had an unbelievable week. Have an awesome weekend. Please share this out, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.